Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So good to see you all. Today we're going to be playing Resident Evil 8. This is going to be a part 1 of a multi-part series, and I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty for my first playthrough ever. I've played all of the Resident Evils up until this point. I just did 7 recently so I could get myself familiar with the story and Ethan Winter's character. And now we're going to be playing Resident Evil 8 Village on the hardest difficulty, which is Village of Shadows. This is going to be a blast. I'm so excited. Let's get right into it and let's see how we fare in the hardest difficulty on my very first playthrough in third person. I do know that Resident Evil 8 is a third person and first person experience depending on how you feel you want to experience Resident Evil. But me personally, I'm a Resident Evil fan. All the games prior to 7 were third person, so I prefer to play it for my first time in third person. And I think honestly, I made the right choice. Alright, with that being said, let's get into it. So we arrive at the home screen of Resident Evil Village. We go ahead and select Village of Shadows, even with the ominous survive the unsurvivability subtext, and we choose third person. We start the story strong by getting into a nice little storybook called Village of Shadows, and it's a dark story about a girl who meets a bunch of different kinds of monsters, and I honestly think it's a prelude to what the story is about, so very interesting. But it looks like little Rose is going to be a horror enjoyer when she gets older because she falls right asleep to it just like every baby would when they hear your voice. Oh, so damn cute. After story time concludes, Mia tells me to go put our child to bed. And after we walk around the house, we enjoy the beautiful sights and sounds that a baby in the house delivers. We come across a hidden document that states that Rose has undergone pathogen testing and the BSAA is going to be the one that breaks the news to us whether she does or does not have the virus from the previous iteration. With all that heavy-heartedness out the way, we decide to play with Rose's favorite toy, the little monkey man, and get her little laughs out there for the rest of us to enjoy. Finally laying her down for bed and telling her goodnight before making our way downstairs to meet our wife to have a nice glass of wine after a very tough day. All's well in the House of Winters tonight, as we finally get to wind down and relax and have a nice... Wait. What? Oh, snappers! Suddenly there's bullets flying everywhere, the house is on fire, the place is going down in flames, and I'm just sitting behind watching my wife get annihilated. A man walks up, all ominous, stepping with the light behind him, shining his dark silhouette, and it's Chris? Chris Redfield? What the hell are you doing here? What? And then he blasts your wife directly in front of you. What more can we say except for this man just turned into a villain, or he's got some hidden information that nobody else knows. This just took a turn for the worse. The twist, the turns. Rose is in this man's hands. Guys, our new mission, take down Chris Redfield. It is enacted. He holds our daughter, and next thing you know, we get a gun butt to the face, and we find our hands smacking the floor as our consciousness goes with it. Next thing you know, the dream is over. We wake up to reality, and we're out in the winter. Winter's in the winter. The irony, I see it. Finally, a phone call goes off, and I start to realize this is no dream. I must have had one too many drinks last night. I answer it to realize that my lady luck is now gone because it is dead. I find a manifesto by the wreckage stating that we were taken into custody by Chris Redfield, and I start to wonder what the hell is going on around here. I start to wander my way through this frozen tundra, hoping that I can find some kind of civilization, and all I find is a bunch of birds being hung upside down. I don't know what the hell is going on around here, but I keep pushing through because my new mission is to find my daughter. I've lost one winter today, I won't lose another. Suddenly, he decides all laws are off the table now. He breaks into somebody's house and finds a cabinet that reminds him all too much of Resident Evil 4 when Louise was stuck into it. Suddenly, we're paid a visit by some rowdy upstairs neighbors. They must be throwing a tap dance party up there. Before we finally leave the house thinking this is way too weird for us, and we come across a beautiful sight, a medieval castle stuck in the middle of nowhere, lost to time. We decide laws don't apply to us anymore. We've had our child taken. We're going to search every nook and cranny. And we decide to break into another bystander's house before his trigger-happy self lets us know real quick what we're dealing with. Thanks to our newfound rebellious phase where we break and enter into every home we find in search of our daughter, some locals catch wind of what we've been doing and decide to teach us a lesson. The unfortunate homeowner ascends to the gates of heaven while I descend to the depths of hell. The locals making sure that I will never forget this lesson that they are about to teach me. After meeting some of their previous victims, I'm blindsided from my left side, where a chunk of my hand is suddenly ripped from my flesh, and I'm thrown outside to find myself in a 1v1 against one of the locals, who definitely have found themselves adapted to the cold with all that hair on their body. This is where I learned what I was truly up against. Playing this for the first time, I decided to try a couple different methods of taking out my very first enemy. I tried the tried and true method of knifing. shooting my gun, and even running and trying to create distance, all which always resulted in the same, which was me getting my chunk of flesh ripped from my body and eaten right before my face before I saw the "you are dead" popping on my screen. Eventually I decided I'd had enough, and I looked around in the area to see if there was anything that could help me with this battle, when I came across some bolt cutters which helped me escape the area and get out of this house of horrors, only to find myself in a new house of horrors with even more enemies. After frantically running around the cabin trying to find an escape route, I turned the corner to find a lichen has found his way within and wants to give me a jump scare just to make sure that my blood pressure is still doing its job. Now it's down to a 1v1 man versus lichen, where luckily some glitch happens and he falls through the stairs and gets nudged between the walls, somehow allowing me to knife him to oblivion, saving some ammo. I am so happy that this happened, even though I don't know how it happened, only to find out that this was just a prequel to the actual main event, which was me running around like a chicken with its head cut off within their village as a million enemies chased after me. Big Chungus decides to break down the wall and is now chasing me as well with his big ass axe, and I'm just trying to survive shooting every flower bag that I can. Eventually, these guys decide it's time to grab me, throw me into the river, and let's sing Kumbaya, because honestly, they've got their meal and I'm sitting here ready, ripe for the taking. When eventually they decide they've had enough and they're gonna leave me be. Guys, I don't know what the hell is going on. This game is insane. I freaking love it, but I also hate it all in the same breath. Playing this on the hardest difficulty for my very first experience was probably not the best idea, but what can I say? I like the challenge. This was part 1 of Resident Evil 8. If you guys want to see part 2 and beyond, don't forget to like and subscribe, and go ahead and leave me a comment on how your first experience was with Resident Evil 8, and how much you like the game, or if you don't like the game, let me know about that too. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.